Hello and welcome to the SAC here at very windy Mount Pleasant, Michigan. We are here to see Overwatch between the Ball State Cardinals and the CMU Chippewas. I'm happy to be here. What about you?
Oh yeah, new season, new us. I mean, not really because we have the same people, but you know.
Yeah, we have no new players in this year. We did have tryouts. We do have a possible sub coming in, though we have not seen him play yet personally. It is week 2 in the EAC. The college esports program is very happy to be here for this team. We have seen no big changes in terms of strategy from Central Michigan over the offseason. They are still playing that interesting hybrid setup with the Reinhardt and other things like that.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see a bigger change, seeing how last season did not go amazing? However, we can expect some. We were expecting some change over the offseason, but we didn't quite get that.
Yeah. Well, I know you told me that main tank wants to play maybe a bit more Hazard as he just released over the offseason. So hopefully he had some time to kind of learn that new hero and can play it in a way that maybe the enemy teams won't expect, because maybe not everybody's used to it.
So yes, it is week 2. Ball State did have a game last week. Unfortunately, Central Michigan did not, due to the inclement weather that came over all of Michigan. Both Western and Michigan and CMU both canceled school due to the cold.
Yeah.
So it is week 2 in the program. We have seen every single other team play. We know Ball State is usually a juggernaut of an esports program, with their Rocket League doing incredibly well last year, and I believe their Overwatch also was very successful. So what do you think we're going to see out of this absolute juggernaut of an esports team?
Well, I'd hope Ball State can bring everything they got and leave it in the game today, and we'll see how they go up against CMU today. I'm sure they'll put on a show. They'll put on a show for us, I hope.
Yes, we actually have a different sort of setup. So this year, the main council on the college esports has changed the way that Overwatch works. So now, before they would take turns picking maps, I believe.
Yeah.
Now there is a pick system where you can ban one map. The away team, so in this case, Ball State is the away team. They pick a map to ban, and then we get to pick from that map pool, which sort of gives an advantage to the home team in the first round. What do you think about the new pick ban system?
I think it's definitely interesting. Maybe not as detrimental as I think it might be, but there's with every game mode there's a decent amount of maps to choose from, especially ones that have been ported over from Overwatch 1. I think the only things that'll really matter with is maybe push other game modes that don't have a ton of maps.
We are getting into game number 1 here between CMU and Ball State. We see both teams come out in a very interesting strategy, exactly what we thought we would see out of CMU. We do have an interesting pick there with a Sojourn and Genji, which is not something we saw out of them last year. Perhaps a little bit of a strategy change. Ball State comes out with a Mei, a Lucio, a Reinhardt, a Zenyatta, and a Symmetra. Apologies. We are going to and Baptiste. We're going to see a very interesting sort of initial engagement here, because they are going to try to play pretty much the same game with, as we can see with the team comps.
In the Paul Village first. Oh wow, Ball State's already on the point.
Ball State taking the advantage of their Lucio's speed to really get on that point very quickly. As we see with Mount Nepal, it is great.
Okay.
You have a good hold. As we see CMU is trying to get that initial engage.
They do already though. Pretty good.
Both. Unfortunately, the tank goes down early.
Okay, that's 3 from Ball State. Oh. Zack can get the kill on the Reinhardt here, or just live to survive, hopefully.
Living to survive. As we see, the Hazard went down early, which is it can make the team fight much easier, though. CMU handled the tank going down early very easily and right in stride for exactly what they want to do. They hold point here in the early stage.
Yeah, I saw SgtSkittlez there get 2 picks right off the bat. That was really super helpful to the team fight. Now CMU will just work to defend the point. Maybe not.
So we do see Zack go down there to the Mei as he sort of gets blocked up into the corner. The Lucio's trying to stay alive here, able to keep him off. As the Hazards are getting bullied a little bit by the Rhine, he does get the kill down by Hazard, and we see almost a complete team wipe here by CMU as the Lucio retreats. we are going to see here both of the supports, only one of them. One of the supports survives there, so being able to get out. That's the advantage of Lucio.
Yeah.
He's just so slippery, so elusive, able to get out of spots like that. As we see the Genji taking sort of a frontline role here, just to hold him off and defend until the hazard comes back.
They'll go over towards the main entrance to the point.
They're going to try to push through that choke point. The hazard is playing an interesting game, going after the Mei. We see the Ryan come out. He has been getting sort of dominated as he gets isolated from supports. He is going to go down again.
Shoved into a room and then into a corner. Poor guy.
Yeah, not a situation you want to be stuck in with a close range brawler like Reinhardt, especially with that shield. We see another big team wipe here. We do have a lot of ults available. Both Genji and Lucio have their ults. Lucio's ult can give the team a great bit of survivability and sort of extend a fight longer than the other team would want. And the Genji ult is going to be very crucial for a team wipe if needed. Kiriko does get her ult. Once again, another extender of a fight. As you see the activate, we see Hazard go in, trying to get after those speed supports. As you see Genji also pop his ult. He gets down though quickly though.
With it. And, I believe that was Blizzard on the point there by All State, as well as a sound barrier. It looks like also rush.
Yeah, that was a not really a situation you want to be stuck in. Obviously, the Genji ran right out of the range of the healers, completely breaking line of sight. A little bit of confidence there with the Nano Blade is something you can have, but it does result in almost a complete team wipe. As we see the Mei dominating Genji again, we are going to see an ult out of here, out of Ball State with a single kill on the Kiriko. As we see, once again, the Mei gets another kill on Hazard, and the Soldierants are able to get a kill. Ball State with another complete team wipe. There was some good strategy there in the beginning. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get it done in the later stages.
That ult exchange, where it was 3 on each side, was really unfortunate. I saw Zack go in with his Dragon Blade. Didn't work too well for him. Ball State using Sound Barrier from Lucio just kind of nullifies the Dragon Blade. You can't get a single pick off, and you can't get any dash resets off. You can't get anything.
Yeah, the Lucio might be one of the best counters to the Nano Blade like that. Just because when he has that Nano Blade, his movement's very good, but if he can get stuck in air jail like Lucio can do, especially on a map like this where there's a lot of ramps everywhere, it can nullify him a lot in the air. As we're going to see CMU is going to try to go right after point using the same strategy Ball State did.
Ball State's swapping on the Hazard as well.
We're going to see almost a complete mirror here.
Yeah.
A full mirror, actually, as we see both teams form up. Hazard, we're going to see Lucio switch here, going in with Freed. I think they realized that, we're going to see, once again,
Raspberry taken down.
Hazard's able to nullify one of the supports, sort of trapping him off from his other teammates, which is something that they really need to survive.
Okay.
They're just going to get a kill. They're both going to go after the Hazard. Going to be a 2v2 here in the small room. The Hazard holds itself. We're going to see if the current Hazard can get the other one, but it looks like they both just disengaged from each other.
Nobody's captured point just yet.
Not quite yet, as we see Freed sort of drop back here. He's going to try to wait for his supports as he goes in for just a little bit of a snag on the DPS. Unable to get it, though. The supports are here to keep him alive. The double for Lucio is trying to keep everybody healed. It's a little rough, though, because of how cohesive this Ball State team has been. They're playing what they want to do perfectly. Seeing a little bit of a flank here out of CMU.
I think Hazard in general is just kind of a risky pick for CMU here, as he's a lot of very communication dependent. You gotta let the team know, yeah, I'm gonna jump in right now, use my shift, use this slash, and then you need to communicate when you need to heal in with the block. It's just like, it's a lot. A lot like Winston in that way, where the dive is really important.
Yeah, he is one of the new brands of dive heroes. As you mentioned, CMU has been known to play that in the past in a few games. Not quite on this map, but on a few maps, they play it sort of dive comp where they just go fully in. As we're going to see a big, very fast engage here from CMU. The Lucio gets killed. The Hazard though in the backfield.
Maybe 3? Ooh. Very
close to taking Hazard get picked as Lucio's just trying to touch it.
Oh, then... Oh. And you fight his life against the Genji in the back there.
Unfortunately, CMU just gets picked apart there. A full blitz there by both the Hazard and the Genji sort of just splits them all apart. We may see that same 3 to 4 ult exchange here as 3 ult on CMU to 4 on Ball State.
Yeah.
As we see one ult
Hazard ult, or both Hazard ults coming out now.
We're going to see Hazard ult. We see the Lucio ult go off.
I think Sojourn overclock for Ball State's coming out as well. Kitsune for CMU and Sound Barrier.
Let's see if they can hold. It's 3v4 on the objective as we see Reed just fighting for his life, trying to get rid of the Genji. The Genji may go down here. He's saved by the Kiriko, and this may be end
Doesn't look
as...
like any kills by CMU with that. All those ults used. No kills. Oh.
It was very good. They countered him very well with both the use of Kiriko ult. Kiriko ult on both teams, it looked like, came off, as well as a Lucio ult from both teams. Ball State is going to claim the first round in a sort of one-sided affair.
She was like hiding above like the entrance to the point there.
That was
used the Kitsune rush.
That was a strategy I haven't seen before. Personally, that was a very entertaining sort of strategy. As we're going to see, the play of the game here is by the Mei as she pops her ult, gets a double, and he's going to probably get a triple here if I were to guess.
The Mei froze Raspberry there mid Sound Barrier. He wasn't able to get it off. That would have been maybe not team saving, but that's definitely unfortunate that they didn't get that off.
Yeah, the ult denial, it can really shift the game here. If you can stop a team's ult, it takes so long for some of those ults to charge up, especially when it comes to supports, that if you can deny it, it can sort of shift an entire round in your favor.
That's unfortunate. Although I think maybe we're not a control team.
That's probably true. We're going to see if there's any adjusting. I think we obviously saw the ban there. I did not catch which map it was, but I think we're going to see an interesting strategy here by CMU to try to, I don't know, change it up. I think they may switch into somebody different. The Hazard obviously didn't work terribly well. They got broken up pretty well by the opposing Hazard, but I think they may switch into something completely different.
I think it was an issue of Hazard jumping in, and then it just gave the entire entirety of Ball State the opportunity to just look at the rest of CMU's team and just kind of tear them out. Yeah, they were good at sort of target identification. They went after the supports first. The supports in combo with the tank are really the cohesion that makes the DPSs be so effective. And unfortunately, when the Hazard smashed into them, when they had the gerbil for the first little bit, they had the wrecking ball, not the gerbil, but same thing sort of. But when they were able to break them apart and really force those one-on-ones between a DPS and a support, they sort of were able to always get those kills. We never really saw a good kill where we saw Lucio get Genji a few times. We saw the Mei really dominate both the supports. And I think they need to avoid those one-on-ones because due to CMU's overall one-on-one ability, as we've seen last season too, they struggle in those one-on-ones. And if they can play as a team, they generally do a lot better. Yeah, because even in that first fight that we saw in Village, where SgtSkittlez was able to get 2 picks like right off the bat with the railgun shots, super nice. And I think that was because he was playing behind Freed, behind his tank, and he could just get those easy shots off. That's definitely true. We are going to go to a very fun map here. As we see the same strategy, we do see a difference in the supports here as we see an Ana and a Juno come out. Juno has received a lot of nerfs as we're probably not going to see her as much as we did last season due to her damage fall off being huge now compared to before. Her damage fallout was a little different as CMU takes the high ground here. You want to look at that choke point right in front of the statue. That is where most defensive teams want to hold. If they can get through there, there's not a lot of space to break it up beyond that. And so if they can hold them for a good minute, they can hold them for even 2 minutes. Usually that leads to a win. Usually that leads to a good momentum shift. Oh, Sim teleporter right off the bat. Yeah, the Symmetra right away. That's by Ball State. Zenyatta. Right away. As we're going to see an Ana, we see this map is a lot bigger in terms of that initial point. So it plays a lot better into snipers. This is a world's really plays, isn't it? Oh! SgtSkittlez getting taken up by Droid almost instantly, it looks like. That's that target identification. SgtSkittlez sort of just strayed a little bit away from the tanks, and then the Hazard identified that very quickly and gets it. That's another one. That's the Genji that once again found the holes in the defense. As Juno is running for her life here, we're not sure if she's going to be able to get away. I'm not sure you make it out of there. Oh, not going to be able to get out there really quickly as we see the Ana and the Hazard come back, trying to make something happen. That definitely looks better at night. I didn't want to say too much, but it sounds like I'm fanboying a little. This is my favorite map, especially at night. As we're going to see
Freed really trying to make a move. He's going to move to the high ground, which is always something you want to take here. He's going to jump off and try to do what Ball State does so effectively. He's trying to get in and break him up as Freed takes himself a little bit of cover.
Yeah.
Hazard can be so effective if he can use that cover effectively.
Yeah.
I think he's been struggling. He uses it really well to protect himself, but
Yeah.
he's got to protect the rest of his team with it as well.
Uh-huh.
With one tank, your sort of flexibility in how you use that, it's a lot less than comparatively to other sort of two tank games that we're going to see.
He's running away into that room there, though. Zack's stuck in here with against
Zack's
4
stuck in
people.
here.
Oh boy.
Unfortunately. Chojnacki's just going to spray into the room a little bit. There are 2 supports in there. The whole team was in there.
Yeah.
During it, we're going to see Free try to get something going as he's respawned here for the 3rd time here.
Yeah.
Free jump up with Zack. They're a good team together. Unfortunately, they're just doing so well in
That's a
countering
big
it.
anti. Wow. In both DPS with 1 anti-grenade. That's tough.
It is tough. The supports, we have an interesting team here because of how because of how different the team comp is compared to many of the other teams you see. Most teams run a singular strategy, whether or not it's Brawl or Poke. Brawl is where you try to stay in one, as you said earlier, one big death ball.
Yeah.
And you try to just establish something, where Poke is more long distance, which is what I believe they're playing sort of if they weren't matching the team strat a whole bunch more.
Ball State is almost zero resistance in this part. At 5 minutes already. And I'm not sure who that ult's hitting.
That also
Doesn't look like anybody. And he's antied, and he's just going to go down again for that.
Yeah,
well, Nano's online. Not Dragon Blade yet, though. Nano is online, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, with how they're playing, the Nano Blade does not charge up as fast because he doesn't have as many opportunities to get damage, which is how Denby charges his ult very quickly. His ammo is damage and kills. He has not been able to get as many.
He's trying to dive in with Creed, I imagine. Like right there. He's right behind him there. It's just, I don't know if he can anti it. Wow, the anti-grenade is taking him.
It is absolutely killing the CMU here. As we're going to see...
Oh, Nano Blade from Ball State, though. Oh, boy.
But a very good counter. We see a triple with the Nano Blade out of Ball State, as they don't even need to, as we're going to see probably the end of the game here.
I'm hoping CMU can let that Nano Blade go right here, right now, maybe. He Nano Juno. Okay.
Going in, sees 1. He's trying to get 2. He does not get 2. As he gets antied again by the Ana, just been so effective with that, once again keeping that ult mitigation. As you saw earlier, the Hazard pretty much nullified Juno's orbital ray just with his wall, which is just so effective against this team. You're seeing Hazard's 1v1 up there.
Did you see that? Raspberry missed the nano on the Zack and accidentally shot Vaneue. So we had a nano judo on her there for a little bit.
Well, I mean, here we go. We're going to see the final little bit as we enter the last second, and that will end round number 1. CMU has got to push it all the way to the end here in the final bit on this map.
3.5 minutes to spare. Wow. Alright.
That is very quickly, almost as fast as you can do it. A little bit of resistance at that first gate, which is so defensible.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of round 1. CMU has got to be very efficient here. They've got to get the payload moving pretty much right away.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic. I know I should be terribly optimistic here. I am not terribly optimistic that CMU will be able to get this thing moving. However, we could see a giant change in momentum here.
I think the Hazard needs to go. I'm going to be honest.
I would be inclined to believe you, but I believe that Hazard's one of those champions that if you stick with it, you can get better. And obviously, the team believes that as well. As we see them go it again, we do not see a significant change into the Widowmaker, which this map attributes to great. Widowmaker is amazing, especially when you're attacking on this point because of how long that initial straight is. But I'm not terribly sure what their plan's going to be here. As we see the Kiriko stands up underneath the statue. She has very good ability to defend that. I think almost every single support and damage on this Ball State team has the toolkit to really keep these guys out. Hazard, once again, is an interesting pick. You wonder if that's a pick that comes down to just trying to mirror the other team.
Yeah. I think CMU would benefit a lot from an Orisa right now because the Javelin and the spin could just keep Droid away from CMU's backline and just hopefully like nullify a lot of their problems. I see Freed here, he's just blocking more than he's even shooting at the enemy team, it looks like.
Yeah,
and Zack is already down by Kiriko Kunai out of nowhere. It's just I don't see how the hazard can work with him. Vaneue is already running for his life. Managed to teleport back into spawn, thankfully. But
yeah, we're gonna see here as Zack is just trying to get something out of Echo, which is interesting because Kiriko is a traditional Echo counter, about as close as you can get on the support, unfortunately. As we see CMU here go for the push, they started out with a flank, and now they're just going to go right up the gut with Hazard. Hazard with that target identification.
Zack already sitting. Oh wow, he went into that fight at 80 HP. That was
He did. That was
unfortunate.
Yeah, as we're going to see the Kiriko trying to just run away, unable to, as Freed is totally cut off. He's also going to go down.
He just runs too far forward and just leaves the backline too vulnerable. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, especially in a game where there's only one tank, like Overwatch is right now.
Yeah.
The ability to keep your backline alive often dictates games, and it certainly has here, as CMU is sort of just putting up the last attack here. As Hazard going after the Genji, he's gonna probably get killed here by Genji, and the Hazard steps up. It's gonna go down as the Ana and Kiriko are forced to fight a Genji one-on-one with a soldier right behind, which is just not a winning matchup for any of them. No support should be required to take it out. As they get blocked out from their own spawn, they're both going to probably start healing each other. Either team can go down. Total disaster from CMU.
Going on to Winston.
Goes on to Winston.
Which is arguably worse, I feel like.
It's arguably not as cohesive as CMU has been. It's implements a third strategy. We were talking before. CMU is a heavily brawler style, so they favor their close guys.
Oh boy.
And once again, that backline's going to get devastated by
with the Nano Blade too.
By the Nano Blade.
I don't even know if he needed that.
Once again, the backline just gets completely dominated as a team kill comes out here from CMU, most likely to end the game for CMU. We're going to see a big sort of like last push here. The Winston tries to pop out of the spawn.
The instant anti as soon as they left the spawn room too.
Yeah, we're going to see a last push here by CMU. They have a minute 12. Not even really possible anymore for them to win, as we see a bunch of...
Yeah, the attempt to peel here is something, but Winston does have the damage output to really, like, tell Hazard, get off my backline.
Yeah, he doesn't have really the tools either.
Zack.
He does pop an ult to save him, and we're going to see a triple there from the ult.
That
Ana's left isolated once again.
Oh man, the 4-man overclock by Ball State. Wow.
Very unfortunate there from CMU.
Oh
Unfortunately,
my god.
Just the isolation of the backline that just makes it nearly impossible for CMU to do anything. As we're going to see the last 30 seconds here ticking up for CMU. We're just seeing sort of them huddle. The Winston pick has not really benefited them at all.
And Nano the Winston. Let's see what he can do with that. He's asleep.
He's asleep right now. Slept by Ana.
Alright.
We're going to see
Zack copies an Ana.
Which is an interesting strategy there.
Almost gets Droid. Okay, Droid gets taken out by SgtSkittlez.
He does get the ult off, killing one of them. He does get a double. SgtSkittlez gets
Maybe they get point here. Maybe
might be able to get on the point just for the
not
last
dead.
little pick.
They're not down yet.
They are going to go into an overtime.
Looks like
oh, we're going to see the Kiriko climb over the top.
Alive. Oh no, he teleports out. Okay.
Just seeing them just not quite able to. He does get the payload off. A little bit of a moral victory here.
Hey, I mean, that's a point on the board. That's a point on the board.
That's what you want to have in these kind of games. A point on the board. Maybe build to something better. But Winston's going to come out of the back. He does get isolated as the other team continues to go with the Hazard, which Hazard's thing is he's really good at getting into the backline, really good at messing up supports because he doesn't lack any ability. As Winston has sort of the same one. He's going to pop his ult to stay alive, going to try to find supports. He's going after the Tracer now.
He pops Primal and he's already done it. He's dead. He's already dead. That's 1,000 HP just gone.
It is. He stayed in for a while. As we see a little bit of a push here. We have a minute 48 left on the clock. The Hazard's going to keep pushing with the support of one of his supports. I believe the other one's staying back. As we're seeing CMU once again just sort of hold themselves within a wall.
Yeah.
Tracer's going in on a flank on the right side. He does get spotted. We're seeing Zack. We're going to see a little bit of a tracer battle here between the DPSs of both teams.
Yeah.
Not looking great here.
Oh, man. Another overclock by Ball State that grabs 2 people.
Indeed, we're going to see a top there by the...
This looks like release Sojourn at this point.
It does. We're going to see an interesting strategy here. Droid is going to try to just keep his backline alive. As we can see here...
Oh, Freed's already anti. He's going in with no help. He's just... Oh, he's gone.
He is gone. That once again, the Tracer is being very effective. He's just jumping in and out. Exactly what we want to see out of Tracer. Once again, a kill. It's probably going to be a 4K as the Soldier got stuck in a room, as well as Ana. And that will be nearly a team kill here as the Winston...
And no ults even coming up for CMU. They got nothing.
The cannons are pretty close to empty here for CMU as they're going to just look for one last push. The Winston jumps into the Tracer. Does get the good kill on the Tracer. Maybe showing some okay potential here for the later parts of the year as we see a Kiriko ult come out from Ball State as we're going to see both supports get stuck in the room with a very scary Hazard. See a kill. Luckily, Hazard actually came out of spawn, sort of saved one of them, though the Ana did go down.
Yeah. This is tough.
It's tough. We're going to see the last 13 seconds
Hazard
here.
ult. Okay, there's a sleep dart though, so you might not get too much out of it. SgtSkittlez already down here at 27 HP. The supports can't even get out of spawn, man.
The supports are sort of being team bullied by the Hazard and the Hazard there and the Tracer. As we see the second game as well go to Ball State. An interesting matchup to say the least. Obviously, CMU struggles.
Well, I'm sure this Nano Blade will be very nice to watch.
I believe this was the 4K, if I remember correctly. See there.
Here we go. Look at
see
this.
with the one.
Look at this guy.
One kill. We see him go after the Ana.
See the money.
2 and then 3.
See the play. Oh boy.
It's a rough look for CMU here in the early stages. Luckily, it is week 2, so there is still a lot of room for growth. We're going to see. I don't know what CMU can really do better here. I think the team comp may be contributing some of it, but I also think there's some things to improve outside of that. Just
I don't think the tank picked right. I don't think Winston was helpful there, and I don't think Hazard was really working for him either. Even on that first map, that Hazard wasn't doing too great. I just think something to be a wall, something to be just a central thing. Like an Orisa would be perfect. A Reinhardt maybe to block the shield, because obviously Ball State has a really good Sojourn that was picking people off. Like, mad. We saw the 4-man overclock there on Blizzard World. Maybe a shield that could benefit a bit from one. Maybe a Sigma, maybe.
Indeed, which is interesting because as you mentioned with the Rhine, Free did play Rhine last year. He came into the season as a big Rhine player.
Yeah.
Obviously sort of abandoned that for the Hazard, which he is, I mean, he sort of lost his shine, but he still is sort of like the shiny new toy on the block.
Yeah.
Got to give him some sort of respect. He's came out very strong.
Yeah.
And so it could be seen as like a look of the start of things. Maybe a little bit of a switch there from CMU in the later part of the season. It is week 2. There's still a lot of season left.
And we'll be right back for our last map. I believe it's what is it? Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint. We'll see you in a moment.
Money.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
And welcome back to the CMU Esports Center. I am here watching Overwatch. We saw the first two matches. Unfortunately, Central Michigan is down 0-2 to Ball State here in Overwatch. We're here to watch some Flashpoint to start out with.
Yeah.
And we're going to see an interesting strategy here. A little bit of it, maybe a reverse sweep here for CMU. I'm feeling it a little bit.
It's always possible. We can dream. Miracles happen, you know.
You know, LeBron James did it. I really think CMU can do it too. We are going to see here as Flashpoint is next. We saw CMU pull off some pretty good wins on Flashpoint last season.
Yeah.
We're going to see maybe a switch here into a different, where I have heard news of a sub coming up in the supports. We're going to see, I believe, the Lucio switch out for a Moira player who is brand new to CMU. He is our one new player on the roster. He came in during tryouts, was very impressive. And so we're going to see if he can really shift the tides here in CMU's favor.
All right, Saravasa. Very nice map. I like this map.
Saravasa is a very fun map. It is one of my favorite in Flashpoint, I must say. I do prefer it. I do prefer it with a little bit of a different sort of flavor. We are going to see CMU. Apologies, it was the Ana we saw last game. We are going to see the same setup sort of for CMU as we see the Hazard, Lucio, Moira, Tracer, Sojourn, which is very similar to what we saw against the same team comp from Ball State with, maybe a little bit of a change. Initial change. We've seen Ball State do that twice now.
I think they want to just teleport out and then swap this Metra.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. They want that initial teleport from him, and then they're going to switch. Yep. Gotcha. Exactly what we thought. As we've seen here, CMU's going to try to get on point. They probably will be beat to point because of that. They do not. They're not beat to point. As we've seen, CMU immediately pushed off point. However, we're going to see some high ground play by both Hazard and Genji here. As we're seeing Tracer going, he's in the back line against the Lucio. Fortunately, CMU's going to get up that point. Oh, he's going after. Very good kill there by SgtSkittlez, aided there by the Hazard. Seeing the Tracer there going after that back line.
SgtSkittlez gets 2 once again. We're getting sneaked down by Droid, but Zack looks like, I can get one there. He can maybe get Hazard as well without...
Hazard, he does get it. The Hazard kills the Hazard with assistance from the rest of the team. The Moira does get the good healing. I think it's primarily a healing Moira, which is not something you usually see.
Not something you'd see, indeed.
Generally, you see Moiras be more of the damaging, the dangerous support.
Selfish support.
Support. Good idea. That's probably how most people view Moira. As we're seeing here, both at the gate, we're going to see a little bit of a flank here by Ball State here. We have 3-4 of them on one side. The other one has not back yet. As you're seeing SgtSkittlez here, sort of use that area denial. Sojourn has that good ability where it can sort of block off an area, make it difficult for it to traverse through. The Lucio here is very low health. Does get picked off by the Tracer.
One healer down on both teams. Oh, and Zack takes out one of the DPS. Okay, both healers down for CMU. That's not great, but maybe they can play around health packs right now.
They do. Unfortunately, Droid does get the Tracer. It's going to sort of end the encounter. He freed her hold. Lucio's already back.
2v2 on the point here.
2v2. We're going to see a support and the tank here. The support gets forced off, but we are going to see Zack here. Very opportunity to
He's going to
win here. He's going to try to hold it up. He does get the ult.
He gets DPS.
He's probably going to get first off point here.
Hitting the Hazard
ult. He does get the kill. He does get stuck in the Hazard ult, unfortunately.
Looks like they might lose point here, but they did get 99.
We're seeing here as CMU is sort of holding objective here a little bit. We're going to see a good push. They do get up to 99%. If they can get on that point for just a little bit, I did not see if overtime triggered, but if they can get on point for just a little bit, that could be the end of round 1.
Yeah.
As we're seeing Lucio here, he does have his ult, as we're going to see a good push here out of CMU. They're going to see multiple flanks. Tracer's going to try to get a good flank in there. He's a flanking hero. He is exactly what you want to see. As we're seeing the Moira ult go off, it's going to be very good. The Lucio stays alive.
Ooh, Zack taken down by Ball State's overclock. Wow.
As you see, almost a full team wipe. We do see a full team wipe here out of Ball State. Very unfortunate for CMU. CMU did retain that Lucio ult, which can make Ball State's life very difficult here. In possibly maybe the final push of the game. CMU's team comp is not really incredibly fast, so it makes the time between each encounter sort of slower.
I will say the Roadhorn on Ball State is really hitting their stride today, hitting a lot of shots. Shots on Zack, right?
I'm just seeing the Tracer there goes down to the CMU tank. We're just seeing CMU get another one.
Both tanks taken out though.
We're seeing the Tracer does have his ult as well as the Lucio. The Lucio ult may be able to compensate for the fact that the tank's dead.
Overtime triggered once more. It looks like the CMU will take first point.
We're just seeing them take the point. Very good, as we're going to see flashpoint number 1 go to CMU. The next flashpoint unlocks here in 30 seconds. This big movement period is crucial for both teams because if you can get those kills, it makes the life on the initial point very hard. As we saw, this Flashpoint only changed hands twice in this, well, 3 times if you count the very end.
Yeah.
But it changed really only twice here. So we're seeing CMU does get to the point after. Freed's going to try to make something go in the front. As we're seeing possibly a flank here by the Tracer. Tracer's fighting. Unfortunately gets caught up fighting in the background.
SgtSkittlez tries to overclock. He's jumped on by Hazard. Can't do much about that.
Another team kill there by Ball State. Man, Lucio's had that ult for a while now. Just not a good opportunity to use it. They've been way too close. They've been way too spread apart by CMU. And they've just got to get close together and utilize that ult, because at some point they're asking what are they missing out on since Lucio's not using his ult. He's missing out on another ult that he might be able to have, because if he would have used it right as he got it, he probably has another ult by now.
Maybe. He might use it right here.
Yeah, this looks like a good opportunity. As we see,
Freed's already taken out. Nope.
Freed got cut off by that wall that the other Hazard put up, which we're seeing Lucio here go in for a second, realize he doesn't have a tank to heal, and immediately jump out, which is sort of the utility he has. He's going to get taken out by the wall of the Hazard. Hazard's already back. Go to support, as we're going to see Tracer here going for a little bit of a flank. This is where Tracer really gets in. He's a good poke brawler. He gets in, can get in a good hit, and then jumps right out. As we're going to see here, a big ult dodge by most of CMU's team. As we're going to see a Moira ult come here.
Second Moira ult. Okay, there's sound barrier.
There you go. We see 2 ults come out here in really quick succession.
And hey, Zack is someone's on CMU's on point. That's good.
As we see a very good kill there by CMU, they're going to have an opportunity to take the second point. Second point's very important, as we're going to see CMU try to hold. We're going to see a full team push here on that side. Ball State. They're staying very compact, which is not something we really expect out of this comp. But they are doing it nonetheless. We're going to see Freed go directly after that Hazard. As we see Tracer jump in and jump right back out as CMU realizes.
Oh, and a nice stick.
Very good stick there by CMU. Good kill. The Tracers may not have his ult stuck. He gets stuck. He's able to hold.
Saved him,
Does get taken out by the Tracer, who is holding it. We're going to see the Lucio starting to get jumped on, unfortunately.
Duck hunt.
Yeah, duck hunt, unfortunately, is a good term for that. We've seen the Moira stick out. It sort of live longer. He does get a good retreat off. Obviously, the benefit of being able to go completely invincible for a few seconds.
Yeah.
In the void.
Unfortunate for Zack. He hit that night. That was a nice stick he hit on Ball State Sojourn, but Wazoo is certainly an ability that exists in this game.
Yeah, the ability to hold for just a second. We're going to see a little bit of engagement before the flashpoint comes off. Everybody knows this flashpoint is arguably the hardest on this map to hold. At least that's my opinion. I've seen it in a lot of my ranked games.
This one is pretty hard, I agree.
Consistently, this one usually switches hands more than any of the other ones, just because I believe there's 4 major entrances on this point. A lot of areas to flank. Very good for certain brawlers. Very, very good for certain champions. Not that you see very many of them on either of these teams. You usually don't see Hazard be terribly effective, just because his walls are very effective when there's 1 or 2 entrances, and because how many there are here. In the struggle, the Moira does go in with her damage orb, which does a lot.
From Ball State. Looks like he's looking to get
one.
At least one here,
He gets blocked by the Hazard wall. A brilliant wall there by Hazard.
That was definitely nice. It wasn't enough to save the point exactly, but it was a nice wall nonetheless.
He kept him alive for just a little bit longer. SgtSkittlez does have his overclock, so possibly one right away, though. The Tracer is already back to that ult. I believe Tracer's ult charges the fastest out of anybody else in this game, I believe.
It is remarkably fast. That or Mercy, I feel like.
Yeah, that would make sense. The full ult, you have all your recharges back by that Moira. The Moira throws it. Unfortunately, the teammate goes down and gets out of range before he's able to get the heal orb over there.
He threw a damage orb.
Oh, through the damage orb.
He was just trying to make sure it doesn't fight an unwinnable battle in there. Oh, it looks
like a big ult here. He does not quite get the Kiriko though. He does get the Kiriko with the ult. As we're gonna see Lucio's ult go off here, it's gonna sort of secure the point for CMU.
Both Lucio's just used ult, yeah.
As we're going to see here, we were correct in thinking this is the most contested one. We've seen neither team get 99% before an overtime.
The Tracer hiding behind that.
We're gonna see a 1v1 between Tracers.
Oh man, Zack, look out. Oh, okay.
Able to get out as the Hazard sort of takes over and tells him to get out of this area. This is my
Zack can hit another stick here. Got pulse bomb back up. Hopefully, maybe you can throw it on the.
Seeing both of the Tracers have it, we're gonna see. And you sort of get pushed off a point a little bit as the Zack gets in. And Hazard sort of push a little bit. He's going to do his best.
So much damage there.
Yeah, he sort of just get walled off. He broke line of sight with Moira. Moira can
Sticks
only heal
the
you with
Hazard,
it.
doesn't get anything out of that, though.
Yeah, not a huge benefit in sticking a tank, unfortunately.
Well, the thing with Hazard as well is he has the block, where it's like 90% damage resistance. So
yeah, it's very similar to Orisa with that.
Yeah,
you just go metal and become invincible for a little bit. As we're seeing, CMU has 99%. This is going to be once again a very close point. As we're seeing, Ball State sort of just sit in the corner here. He's sort of toying. He misses his stick, however.
Wow, he had the vision.
Oh, we're gonna see a big ult here as we're seeing the Moira just unable to quite get the heal off.
Oh, maybe if he had a heal orb there, he might have been able to...
He has been very effective.
Ooh,
he sort of just got isolated. I think he was sort of expecting the CMU team to go with him. Unfortunately, he's got picked apart, broken up into 2 fronts, and then with a 3v3, they've all won in the 3v2.
The 3 point, I believe.
Heading, that is the point I believe they are on now. It is going to be... This point is interesting to me for a few reasons.
Yeah.
This point is very easy to hold for the entire game, because especially with the team sets we have right now, it's very easy to isolate a tank.
Yeah.
And then once the tank is sort of dealt with, it's very hard to attack a point.
Oh boy.
And especially with how effective Droid has been with sort of isolating the current Hazard.
Oh wow.
It's very good as the Moira Papa ult here, trying to get as much damage as possible. He probably will get a kill here.
Looks like Ball State's overclock has been used as well. The Cooler doesn't manage to save Turtle there.
We're gonna see
take down. Hopefully, I was about to say, please don't ult this.
Exactly what we mentioned, as Breed gets isolated inside of that building, and it's just not a place you really want to be if you are like Hazard, where you can be slower. If your cooldown is too long, like Hazard's is, you can't really get in and get out like a lot of other heroes. That's why you often see Wrecking Ball used a lot on this, because his mobility can let him get in and get out. Yeah. Unlike many of all the other heroes. You're seeing here.
It looks like Forty's able to, Forty and Droid are able to pick out 2.
Look at that here. They are very effective. If he Droid get another one on the other tank, which will most likely end it. Zack is going to retreat to spawn and just try to pick. Seeing Moira just throw a few, try to get some damage in, pad some bats.
3 ults from CMU, but can they get the point in time? 3 ults from Ball State as well, so just cancel out.
This will be an absolutely crucial encounter, as we see CMU is going to have to push into a very defensively minded team. As we see him free jump, he's going to break line of sight with his healers, unfortunately. As we see a big ult, he does get
big
stuck.
Ult from Ball State.
Now we see 3. He's going to pick off both of the DPSs and
I saw Zack pulling out the full spawn there. Just
picked off both of the ults and he picked off both of the healers first, and then both the DPSs, and then CMU just kept pushing, which is unfortunate, unfortunately, because of how well CMU appeared on that very first point. Yeah. We thought that maybe the reverse sweep was possible there for a moment. Yeah. Unfortunately, in those last 3 points, it sort of fell apart for CMU. What do you think was the main reason why they fell apart there? Flashpoint has been stronger for them. Why do you think they fell apart there in the final 3?
And I think it's just maybe the ults there. The ults weren't terribly effective for them. It seems like they just weren't able to use them that well, or every time they did use them, they were just instantly killed. Even with like the Moira coalescence, I just saw whenever Turtle was using it, the enemy tank would jump right on him, and he couldn't do anything about it. Even like the Soundberry was held for a long time, which it wasn't like that detrimental, but it could have maybe saved Freed once or twice, especially on that second point with the big like openness. And then the overclocks from Ball State were just like always getting somebody, no matter what.
Yeah, Soldier's overclocks could really change game just because of, I don't know, how much damage they can do. Especially if you land shot. I don't think he probably missed just a few overclocks all game. Yeah. Very good. He's probably a very good. I like to call Soldierin a Call of Duty character because it plays a lot like a Call of Duty game. Yeah. It's a simple rifle that you're just shooting. It's very good for those kind of maps where they're more open. Longer sight lines gives you easier. There's not damage drop off on them. Yeah. So it's unfortunate. I think the ult farming was a big deal with that, especially with how long Lucio held that ult. Yeah. But I think overall CMU just got a little bit outclassed with how they use their ults and how well they were able to separate their tank from the rest of the team.
Yeah, and it's just I think there was a lack of like kind of cohesiveness between our team there, and it's just they weren't playing together. I always saw Freed off somewhere else while the entire backline was being shredded, or he was blocking into 4 people while the tank was killing our backline. It just didn't look like he knew what to do half the time. He just was taken out so often.
Yeah, I think CMU struggled because of how effective that hazard was. It was very clear he knew exactly how to use his walls. He was able to separate out the CMU backline to the front line, and then allowed his 2 big duelists, which was the Genji, which was the Tracer in certain cases, to really isolate and win those 1v1s, which is what it comes down to. I think the 1v1s were the biggest deal in this game. They needed to win more than they did. In that first encounter, they won more than they did. Obviously, we saw the Moira contribute heavily. As a new player who has not really had time to build that cohesion, I thought he played amazing. I think he will be a valued member of this team. But overall, I think the 1v1s is what's come down to. And luckily, 1v1s are a skill that, not to say can be easily improved, but it's a skill that's more available. It's more available to be improved. If it was team chemistry or thing like that, that's something that you can't really improve. 1v1s can be improved just with pure practice. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off for the day?
Well, I've got a match next week. We got a league match tomorrow and Saturday, which I will be there for as well.
Yeah, so we have a league match tomorrow, and on Saturday, I believe, will be very good matches against, I am not aware against who, but they will be very good league matches. We have been Overwatch at CMU. I have been GGSnowman, Lincoln Dodds.
Yeah, I'm Wazoo.
Wazoo, we will be signing off for now. I will see you next week for Overwatch.
See ya.